Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 2 of the ORT Esports Cup here in Tier 1 as we take in the fantastic Red Bull Ring. We're here in the Austrian Alps for the Austrian Grand Prix. My name is, of course, Ivan Mike. Going to be taking you through the action here tonight. And what a interesting race we have in store. Of course, only 10 corners around the Austrian Grand Prix track around this 4.3 kilometer circuit in length, with 3 DRS zones, 1 down in towards turn number 1, 1 up the hill towards turn number 3, and of course 1 coming down in towards turn number 4. Middle sector going to be very crucial to hook up, as you need a good bit of downforce in the middle sector just to be able to hook up the lap in total. But of course, having a car that has decent straight line speed as well will be key, just to make sure that you can compete down the straights and in the DRS zones. We got Fearful, the first man out on track here in today's race. Of course, Fearful in the Alfa Romeo, which is of course the ORT Esports team. So obviously we got Mitch and Fearful representing ORT Esports here tonight. We have the Red Bulls being represented by DKMN Esports. The Mercedes are being represented by CPI Esports. ORT represented in the Scuderia Ferrari. IRT represented in the McLarens. QVR, obviously we got Gary in here at the moment. I believe Campbell may be on his way as well, but we got one of the QVR drivers in here in the Alpines. NLR in the Aston Martins. Esports PEC in the AlphaTauris, and then of course we got LRN Esports in the Haas F1 car, and of course VMV in the Williams car, as I believe we're going board with the Ferrari of Hamburger to take us on a lap here of Austria as we head down in towards turn number 1. Going to be breaking around the 100-meter board down and taking a little bit of the inside curve and getting onto the exit curve. Absolutely lovely. DRS is going to be wide open as we climb up the hill towards turn number 3. So we're going to see how Hamburger gets on. 16 flat in the first sector. Need good traction on the exit of turn 3, because it does launch you well on the run down in towards turn number 4. With DRS open, we could be seeing a lot of overtaking here into turn number 4. Nice entry there from Hamburger. Getting a little bit onto the exit curve on the exit, but it's all looking smooth so far from Fearful. Through the middle sector now, through turn 6 and now through turn 7. 44.5 in the middle sector from Hamburger as we go through the turn 8 right hand kink, and now through the penultimate corner, turn 9. Very crucial to make sure you don't invalid here through the final corner, and Hamburger keeps it all valid, comes to the line, and it's going to be a 1 minute 3.8 to get us underway here in qualifying as his teammate crosses the line in behind, goes just 300ths of a second behind him, and Fearful from the looks of it, an invalid lap time as we got Jetron Jose currently in the AlphaTauri with a 1 minute 4 flat. Legend in P3 with a 1 minute 3.9. As there's a styrofoam debris off in the distance. QVR Gary getting himself underway. So we're actually going to stay on board with the QVR driver as he runs up the hill towards turn number 3 as we wait for more times to come in here at the start of qualifying. QVR Gary getting through turn 3 there, not getting greedy on traction, but we're going to see how he does in turn number 4. Keeps it nice and tight, doesn't drift out too wide. Has got Lighty there with a 3.5, putting himself on the provisional pole, getting himself up the order for the IRT team. And now through turns 7 and 8 for QVR Gary as he approaches the penultimate corner of turn 9. 50 meter board turning in, and now through the final corner for QVR. Gary to the line, he'll come, and it's going to be a 1 minute 4.1 to get the QVR driver underway here in this session. CPI Jamie is a 44.4 in the middle sector for him as he comes to the final corner now. For CPI Esports to the line will come Jamie, and he cuts it onto the front row just behind Lighty, who is only 15, well, just over 200 of a second ahead of Jamie there as K-Gap pops up into P4 there with a 0.7. Rishi out there on a invalid lap right now as we got Dominique coming through the final sector, but there is lap underway. But we got Mitch now coming to the line. Mitch, DRS wide open, comes to the line, and he's actually done an installation lap. So Mitch doing an installation lap there. It's a 1 minute 9.3 for an installation lap, so we're going to be seeing the times improve from Mitch. Of course, everyone in the stream, hopefully you're all having a fantastic evening here, and looking forward to some great racing here at Austria. Mitch now getting a little bit squirrely on the exit of turn 3, going to be looking to gain more time in this middle sector, and we're going to see how the ex-esports driver gets on here. Through the middle sector, and it's a 44.5. Decent middle sector there from Mitch. He tries to keep it very narrow onto the curb coming through turn 8. Now up towards turn number 9. Through the penultimate corner. Now for the final corner on the limits of the track, but keeping it all valid to the line. Up into P4 goes Mitch AWC as G. Russell has joined, and I believe G. Russell, if I'm not mistaken, could be a QVR reserve driver, as Dominique is around at the final corner, which of course is not what you want to see, as Yano gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision out on track. So not good for the NLR driver. He is on an outlap as well, so that compels his issues even further. Currently up in P8, he needs to find around about 4/10 of a second if he wants to be getting himself any higher. And yet there we go, G. Russell taking the Alpine, showing that of course he is going to be driving for the QVR team here tonight. 44.7 in the middle sector from Spec Lap, and we're going to be seeing if Spec Lap can find any time through the final sector. It's looking like it could be around a 1 minute 4 flat, so around Tetron Jose as he crosses the line, and it's a 1 minute 3.9. Just goes ahead of Legend actually, who is out there on an outlap right now. 18 drivers in the lobby here tonight. We are short of one team, and I believe that team is the Williams of MVM, as Fearful across the line up in the P3 with a 1 minute 3.6. Danny Connor coming on a flying lap right now, currently in P4. Little bit of a rear end snap on the entry into the turn 4, but Danny able to keep it together. We're going to see if Danny's going to be up or down in the middle sector. I would assume it would be close, and yet it is close. 18 thousandths of a second there. Danny is just down on his current time, but through the penultimate corner, and now coming up to the final corner. Getting so close on the track limits, but just about keeping it valid. Danny to the line. Marginal improvement from the AlphaTauri as Coolman puts it onto P3 ahead of Fearful. Up into third goes Coolman. Titron Joes as coming from the middle sector now. Doesn't give me a doubt that whether or not he's up on his time or not, but I think he's well down because he is completely out of VRS, so should be returning into the pit lane now. Yep, completely. Yeah, into the pits goes T-Tron as Gary improves here with a 3.5. And I'm actually going to go on board with Gary's teammate here, G. Russell. And we're going to be seeing how Russell gets on. DRS wide open as we run down in towards turn number 4. as I believe that was G-Boy Cohen going up into P2, P3 momentarily, but Jamie there, big lap from the CPI man, improves to a 3.3 here in qualifying, really putting a gauntlet down in this race. And of course, Jamie, a very quick driver, very well known as well in the community, and definitely going to be one to keep an eye out on in this race, 100%. G. Russell now to the line, going to be crossing it. It's 1 minute 3.9, good enough for P16 at the moment, but it is his first lap in the session, so he has time to find more time out there. As Hamburger down on his time, Rishi 3 tenths off in his lap. We've got K-Gad out there on a lap, marginally up in the first sector, so we're going to stay on board with K-Gad. Of course, K-Gad, potentially another driver who can get himself up there in terms of the front row. Could he be challenging Jamie? In fact, he hasn't actually got any ERS, I've just noticed. So K-Gad there, I think, is going to be returned to the pit lane. Mitch is going to get himself underway here, as I wasn't able to see the first sector split, as my vision was impaired. But Mitch now coming into turn number 4. Keeps it nice and smooth through turn number 4 and now through turn 5. Into turn 6 now. He needs to throw the car in and just hold the speed. And now middle sector split. He's over a 10th up in the middle sector. This is decent so far from Mitch as we go through turn 8. Can he find any more time through the final sector though? That is going to be the key for him. Right now he's on the edge, and there it is. It's just over the limit. And that is an invalidated lap time from Mitch, but he's not going to complete the lap to show any improvements on what he's done. He's going to back out and come back to the pits, maybe even go again on the lap. Spec lap, currently down in P15 for LRN. Needs to find a bit more time out there on track, but we're going to see if he can, as I believe we just saw an improvement come there from his teammate in Dominique as we go through the middle sector. Split there with Spec Lap. To the line will come Spec Lap as we go through the penultimate corner. Keeps it valid there. Can he keep it valid for the final corner? Yes, he can. To the line will come the LRN man, and he'll go up into P6 with a 1 minute 3.6. Identical lap time to K-Gat there, but obviously K-Gat setting that lap time earlier on in the session. Only 1,000th of a second between those two, and Coleman in behind for NLR, and Coleman about to get himself underway for a lap. So we're going to go for a nice full screen lap here with Coleman here as he goes through turn number 1. DRS wide open as we climb up through the kink of turn number 2 and as we head to turn number 3. There's the first of the VMV drivers into the session, so VMV are going to be represented here tonight. Whether they'll have both of their drivers in remains to be seen, but they've at least got one driver in, which is a chance at some good points here. Through turn 4 and now through turn 5 for Coolman as we go through turn number 6. As Inwa, I think, needs to remember that is connected to the game audio and probably needs to jump into a party with himself, otherwise it could be distracting for other drivers. But through the penultimate corner now is Coolman, and we're going to go back on board and see if it's going to be an improvement, get the delta up as we go to the line for Coolman, and it's going to be a 2/10th improvement up into P3 goes Coolman. It's a 1 minute 3.404. As we got Lighty on a, believe on the slow lap. Yeah, I think he was giving the tow to his teammate Legend. Legend is also out there on a lap, so Legend there 2/10ths up as we have just witnessed, and we're going to see Legend now come to the line. Is he going to manage to get himself up into the top 5? Up into P6 goes Legend. So now Lighty, I don't think he's going to be going again as Jamie finds even more time. And it's a new lap to beat, a 1 minute 3.274. Coolman obviously on a cool down lap. We got Jaboy Cohen currently up in sector 1. We got QVR Gary coming through the middle sector. He is miles off his lap time, but of course Jamie now with a 5-place grid penalty for collision with Node. Absolute heartbreak for the CPI man, because he's on course to take pole position, but of course he'll be starting at best P6 here as it's Jaboy Cohen now coming through the final sector, marginally up in the middle sector. Can he find any more time here for the ORT Esports team through the final corner, and to the line he'll come. It's going to be up to P4 for Jaboy Cohen, and that is going to mean that these guys are going to have to really get their final runs in order. Of course, we've got Mitch and Tetron Joes through in 13th and 14th, setting identical lap times as we saw earlier with KGAT and Spec Lab, and they're still on identical lap time. So we got two sets of drivers here on identical lap times, which is always fantastic to see. A very interesting track when it comes to Austria, because it is so tight. Every 10th of a second matters, every 100th of a second matters, every 1000th of a second matters, as Tetron Jose through the final corner now. To the line he'll come, and it's going to be an improved time. Up right behind his teammate into P6 goes Tetron Jose. So look at that, there, a bit of teamwork going on between KGAT and Jamie there, and we're going to see if KGAT's going to be benefiting much off of that as we climb up towards sector 1 here, and it's a 10th and a half up, so KGAT definitely gaining time there with that tow that we saw supplied by his teammate Jamie. Through turn 4 now for KGAT, obviously down in P9. Jamie with that 5-place grid penalty potentially will be dropping down to P6 in the start of this race, unless it was a mistake in terms of the game. But KGAT now coming through the penultimate corner has a good chance of getting himself up there, but can KGAT pull it off as we go through the final corner? Keeps it all valid, and to the line comes KGAT, and it's a front row lockout right now for the CPI team, and confirmation in the chat that the grid penalties of course are obviously an in-game mistake, so after this there will be a lobby restart for these drivers. But as it currently stands, Jamie obviously in provisional pole position. I think he will keep that, obviously, if it is a reset, as we got Kuhlman through the middle sector. The checker flag, I believe, is out in the session right now. No, we got 3 seconds to go, so the first man will obviously be the NLR driver of Yano. To the line comes Yano. He'll see the checker flag first. Up in the P9 goes Yano, as we got a Haas now coming through the final corner. Is that Spec Lab? No, it's not. It's Dominic. Dominic to the line. Dominic up the order anyway? No. And now on to Kuhlman. Has Kuhlman found any more time? Marginal improvements, and he gets himself up into P3. Found a lot of time in the final sector, actually, as Russell gets himself up into P15, as we got Rishi on an invalid run. We got Fearful coming into the pits. What about Inwa? Inwa on an invalid run. Rishi, as I mentioned, on a invalid run, and we got Danny Connor now. The last car to set a lap time here in qualifying. Danny Connor comes to the line, and what's it going to be for the AlphaTauri? Up into P2, splitting the two CPI man. So Danny Connor splits both CPI drivers. So a fantastic performance here from Esports PEC. So a fantastic result there from Danny Connor, splitting the two CPI drivers, and a fantastic lap as well, as I believe we will be getting a lobby reset to sort out the issues in terms of what we have with the 5-second time penalties. But it is Jamie on pole position ahead of Danny Connor in second place. Kgat will be in third with Coleman joining him alongside in the second row. Lighty in P5 with is Jaboy Cohen in P6. Mitch in 7th with Tetron Joes in P8. Yano in P9 and QVR Gary rounding out the top 10. Then outside of the top 10 we have Legend, Speclap, Rishi, Fearful, G Russell, Dominique, Hamburger, Node and Imwa being the last driver unable to set a lap time there for VMV. So that of course is the order, and we'll make sure that we get a screenshot of that just so that we can send it to the lobby host to make sure that they are able to get the lobby going as quickly as possible. Of course, there's not only tier 1 going right now. There's also tier 2 currently underway, and qualifying is intermediate conditions in tier 2, so not going particularly well. Let's go for the drivers in tier 2, obviously having to deal with these conditions as everyone leaving the session, so we shall as well. As intermediate conditions in tier 2, and I'm interested to find out what is going to be going on there. We're gonna find out what's going on as we wait. As we wait to see what is going to happen. It looks like PTR YOLO has taken pole position in tier 2. And of course Boo will be joining them alongside in the front row, unless we see improvements coming from the MZPN drivers through the final couple of corners. So we'll have to wait and see. And obviously one of the drivers unable to find the time needed, but can the second driver of Phantom get up there? No, he can't. And there we go, we have the invite. And we are now back in the lobby, so what we gotta do now is wait for everyone to join the session, and of course we will be getting back underway. Alright, so everyone now trying to funnel themselves back into the session. Looks like tier 2 will be going through the same thing as well. Of course, with the reset in the lobby. and we shall see. But we are getting the drivers back in now. We should have 19 drivers in total joining the lobby, so we have to wait and see what will happen. And have to wait and see what happens in the race, as we have 17 drivers in so far, 2 more to come. I believe we are missing the Alpine of G. Russell, and I believe we are missing the VMV driver. So there we go. So if the lobby host is watching, we are missing VMV. I believe it was VMV Inwa, and we are missing G Russell 63. Inwa is in, and G Russell 63 is the only man missing right now. So if we're able to get these guys in ASAP, and then of course we'll be able to get underway in this race. Of course, while we are here, obviously we will take a look at the standings and everything, just keep everything in line, and just check on what went on last week. So in terms of the standings, CPI lead the way on 52 points. QVR currently in second place on 38 points. NLR Development currently on 34 points in P3. Then you got DKMN on 21 points in P4. 18 points for LRN in P5. VMV currently in P6 on 16 points. IRT Esports on 13 points in P7. ORT currently in P8 on 10 points. 8 points for the X Esports team. And EPEC on 0 points collected. So we are going to see what goes on in terms of this race. We're still waiting for everyone to... Oh, no, actually don't. G. Russell is now in, so everyone is now in the lobby, which obviously means now that the lobby host of Dark can get the grid into the correct order, ready to get ourselves underway here in this qualifying session. As we wait to see how long it's going to be. Of course, last week, I'll just bring up last week's results here in Tier 1, because of course I was what's called being the broadcast for Tier 2 last week, and in Tier 1 last week we had KGAT taking the win for CPI ahead of the Red Bull of Burke, and then of course we had QVR Verstappen rounding off the podium. We had CPI Jamie coming across the line in P4 in the end, which I think might have been a penalty removed, possibly, just because of the points that they accumulated, or possibly not. I think they were okay. I think yeah, I think they did get. I think they did get the points that they had. But yeah, Jamie finished 4th with Miguel in 5th. Spicer came in 6th for the NLR pairing. So Miguel and Spicer, the line astern, in 5th and 6th. Obviously you had Lighty coming through in 7th, with QVR Nathan in P8. Nose S for VMV obviously came home in P9th, and then Luca in the Ferrari rounded out the top 10. That was of course what happened last week in Spain, but of course we want to get to see what happens this week here in Austria. And while we wait for the grid to get themselves back underway once again, I'd like to remind everyone that, of course, not only is Tier 1 going right now, but of course Tier 2 is going on right now with a fantastic commentator covering Tier 2 in the absence of me this week. Obviously, Alex, the G, obviously being the guy on comms in Tier 2 tonight. And yeah, make sure you guys pop on over, show Alex a bit of love in Tier 2, and then make sure you guys jump back over for the start here in Tier 1. So we're in a bit of a waiting period right now here in Tier 1 as we're waiting for the lobby to get set up. Right, the confirmation that everything is set, so I think we should be getting ready any moment now. As we got several drivers beginning to ready up in the lobby. Hopefully we'll be able to get going once again in just a moment. And of course a similar issue obviously happening in Tier 2. I mean, it's difficult sometimes when it comes to these five place grid penalties, because sometimes the grid penalties may be deserved and sometimes they're just the game glitching and giving unfair time penalties. So it is what it is, but everyone needs to remember their setups and before they get into the race itself. Well, we are going to have to see what happens here, and as we get ready for the race. Obviously, I think there may be a formation lap as well, otherwise we'll be going straight into the race. But everyone making sure that they have their setups sorted out there on track. Make sure that you remember your setups. Do not start this race without them, because you'll be absolutely in pain for 36 laps of Austria. Of course, the drivers getting themselves ready. Obviously, that little break would have just about, just allow the drivers to take a little bit of a breather, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Could be a good thing to settle the nerves out there being in this grid, but also it could be a bad thing. It could put you out of a rhythm in terms of driving the track. So it could be a good thing or a bad thing, and we're going to find out how it's going to be as we go to those 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway here in Austria Danny Carr gets off to a good start. Looks like Jamie does keep the 5 place grip drop as he starts in P6. Also, you got it's your boy Cohen making a move, and so he gets up the order, and Mitch and Jamie side by side as they run up the hill towards turn number 3. And look at that, McLaren on the inside of, I believe that's Legend on the inside of both the Alpha Tauri and the Aston Martin there. And Legend actually ending up losing out as we funnel down into turn number 4. Cars side by side and wheel to wheel action going on as Legend down the inside of Jarno. Up in the P9 goes the McLaren. Good start for him as Rishi is around at the back and not what he would have wanted. The Red Bull team around at the start. Rishi unfortunately now has a lot of work to do to get himself back up the order. As we conclude lap number 1, let's have a look at the tyre selections that everyone has gone for. A very split strategy here, as it looks like a lot of drivers going for a set of the mediums, some going for a set of the hards, and of course we've got Imwa and Hamburger, who Hamburger in the pits at the moment, started on a set of the soft compound tyres, so interesting there. I am quickly gonna sort out one of my pets a second, because if you probably heard in the background, my pet's just come in the room and just started crying at me for no reason. So I'm going to leave you on board with this battle for P8 right now with Jamie, Tetron and Legend. I shall be back in just a moment. Apologies for that, guys. Unfortunately, yeah, when you got a cat crying in your ear, it can be a little bit hectic. On board right now with G. Russell, who's looking at the back of Jarno here for the final position inside the top 10, and a bit of a messy exit in turn 1 from Legend. G. Russell kind of boxed in here between Jarno and Legend. Going to look down the inside of the McLaren. He's going to be able to put it off. No, just about actually. G. Russell able to make that move. I didn't think he was going to get it done, but fair play. Makes the move up in the P9. Goes the Alpine. As Gary gets through on Jarno. Little bit of a tap at the rear from the Aston Martin on the Alpine here. Not great there from Jarno there. A little bit heavy on the braking, just going into the back of Gary. Up at the front, you got K-Gat all over the back of Danny Connor. Coleman still holding on to P3, and it looks like Jamie losing out to Mitch as well at the start of this race. Of course, he is on the hard tyres, and Mitch is on the set of the mediums. As we're starting to see more drivers coming into the pits. We had Rishi coming in initially, and Dominic actually retires from the race at the start. So now what you want to see is, look at this, a battle for the race lead between K-Gat and Danny Connor. And now with DRS, Coleman can maybe get himself into the mix as he looks down the inside. Surely not going to get free wide into turn 4. No, Koolman going to stick it in behind, but he's going to go for a nice tighter line, and he's going to get the race lead as... Yeah, I mean, Danny Connor got absolutely hung out to dry there. Kega, I think, went a little bit deep into turn 4, and that allowed Koolman to get a lovely little switchback on the pair of them and get himself into the race lead. Koolman now in the race lead. Kega still in P2. Danny Connor down to P3. Lighty now on the back and under pressure from Jaboy Cohen in P5. And we're going to see if any of these guys are going to be going for any moves whatsoever up into turn 3. Of course, there's not going to be many moves going into turn 1, so it's all about a good exit out of turn 1 and a good traction zone up the road towards turn 3. It's your boy Cohen there getting a little bit onto the exit as Lighty really trying to put the pressure on Danny Connor here. Your boy Cohen's again like putting the pressure on Lighty, but Lighty just able to hold on for the time being. I mean, everyone right now in a bit of a DRS train, and see, you have to go back to Imwa, currently down in P14, to get a bit of a break from all that, as Koolman still leads the way ahead of Kega in second place. Danny Connor still in P3. Jamie has actually lost out another spot to Tetron Joes. As look at this now, as I believe we just saw the Ferrari tucking out the slipstream of Lighty, trying to make sure that he doesn't get close now, coming up the hill. And now look at Lighty using his ERS, using the DRS, coming up the hill and up ahead. A challenge for the race lead between Kega and Koolman. Kega down the inside, as is Lighty, and Kega unable to get the position done, but Lighty using his ERS, and he's going to pull ahead of the AlphaTauri. Lighty up into P3 here on lap 7 of 36. And Kega the first opportunity to really go for the race lead since trying to get through on Danny Connor moments ago, but unable to get that position off of the Aston Martin, as Tetron Jones has gone around and he's dropping down the order quite considerably, and falling away is Tetron Jones. And looking at it right now, I mean, the QVR pair in line, the Stern in 8th and 9th, they're trying to close up to the back of Jamie. Jamie kind of going backwards in this race, but he will be on the better tyres come the end of this race, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there, as your boy Cohen comes up the order, and he just can't get close enough to make a move on Danny Connor, and big snap at the rear, and that's going to allow Mitch to attack. Mitch is trying to put the Ferrari under pressure, and he's backed out, but that was an opportunity there. That was just showing how one small mistake can put you immediately under pressure, as it's your boy Cohen there getting a bit too squirrely on traction coming out of turn 3, almost ended up costing him a position to Mitch in behind. And now look at this, Jamie getting a little bit onto the back now of the Alfa Romeo. Of course, he's got a little bit of gap in behind with Russell closing in, but of course Russell on those medium tyres not going to be going as long as Jamie, and Jamie there getting a big snap coming out of the final corner. And that is a hash of spec lap. Has gone around through the penultimate corner, getting a little bit too much on the outside curve, that I can assure you. Meanwhile, the run up the hill, Kgat now looking for the race lead once again. Down the inside goes Kgat, and it's just going to be job done. Legend has left the session as we run down in towards turn number 4. Kgat will have the inside. DRS is going to tow the Mercedes along, as the inside is going to provide the traction that Kgat needs to make this move done. They're still going to be side by side into turn 6, and Lighty has to be careful about navigating this now, as Kgat now into the race lead. And Lighty not trying to waste any time, using ERS, going to move to the inside for the penultimate corner, backs out of it. Smart there from Lighty, doesn't want to commit to a move that risky at this stage in the race. Of course, it is only lap 9, but making a small mistake like that from Kuhlmann will allow Lighty to have an opportunity, as Lighty will be down the inside into turn number 1. And his job done there for Lighty, and that could open the floodgates here in behind, because Kuhlmann not being able to get the best of runs through turn 1 is going to allow Danny Connor to have a look down the inside into turn 3. The Alpha Tauri and the Aston Martin side by side, and looks like Kuhlmann is doing enough to just stay ahead of Danny here. But Danny using a bit of ERS, slipping back into the slipstream to try and get enough of a tow to drag him far enough alongside Kuhlmann to make a move, and Kuhlmann able to hold on to P3 for the time being. Is your boy Cohen still in P5? Of course, Mitch still in P6. Jamie still on the back in P7 on those hard compound tyres. But now the front two are on the hard compound tyres. Now we're going to see whether or not these mediums are beginning to fall away. Because if these two can pull away in the middle sector, whilst DRS is obviously going to keep Kuhlmann and Danny Connor with Lighty and Kgat. Well, they are still going to be there, as Danny Connor gets a much better run through turn number 1 and gets up into P3. But as I was going to say, with DRS, it's going to be easy for the likes of Danny Connor, Kuhlmann and Is Your Boy Cohen to stay with Lighty and Kgat, as Legend has rejoined the session, as we look at a battle for the race lead here. Lighty down the inside, Kgat trying to look for a switchback, get a better traction coming out of the corner, but no, Lighty's going to hold on to it. But yeah, what I was going to say is, obviously in this middle sector, it does allow, if the hards allow the better tyre, it allows the hard tyres to really begin to pull away slightly. So yeah, I mean, we're going to see if the mediums are going to be falling away pretty soon, or if they still have enough grip to really stick with these hards right now. Lap 11 about to begin lap number 12 in this race. We are a third of the way through the race thus far, and of course Lighty is leading the way ahead of Kgat in P2, and of course you got Danny Connor now up in the P3 ahead of Kuhlmann, who's in P4. Jamie looking for a move, trying to force a move into a space that was half open there from Is Your Boy Cohen. Jamie there really trying to find any way through that he can on the Ferrari as it currently stands, as up ahead Kgat back down the inside of Lighty into turn number 4, and with that back into the race lead goes Kgat. And yeah, I mean, it has gone a certain way in this race right now, as it's your boy Cohen under pressure from Jamie. You got Kuhlmann trying to put Danny Connor under pressure. Danny Connor getting close to the back of Lighty here, and you got Kgat now trying to pull away. So Danny Connor still under a bit of pressure from Cohen, Coleman and Cohen in behind, but Cohen getting a little bit out of shape on the exit of turn 1. That's going to allow Jamie the opportunity to get this move done on Is Your Boy Cohen, who's going to try and outbrake into turn 3 and force the Mercedes to go all the way around the outside, and unable to make the move stick. Jamie settles down for P6 once again. Lap 13 of 36. Kgat leads the way ahead of Lighty in P2. Danny Connor in P3. Kuhlmann in P4. Is Your Boy Cohen in P5. Jamie in P6. Then we got G. Russell and Gary, the two QVR drivers, in 7th and 8th. Line astern. Legend in 9th, and 9 seconds up the back of these two up ahead of him. And then of course we got Imwa rounding out the final position inside the top 10. Back up towards the front, however, though, Looks like K-Gat just has the pace to get himself away from Lightly in the middle sector, enough to hold off the onslaught into turn 3 and 4. But what that is doing is creating a bit of a concertina effect where no one's actually able to get a overtake done here unless a mistake happens. Kuhlmann looks like he may have just had a little bit of a snap on the exit of turn 3, but again, DRS and having a bit of ERS just allows Kuhlmann to just make sure that he can stay with Danny Connor here. As K-Gap once again pulling that 6.5 tenth gap that he needs to Lightly, as we're going to see the first pit stop coming in from Danny into the pits, using the correct manner in entering the pits as well, and that I think might potentially have just knocked Kuhlmann out of DRS range. No, he's just about in it. I was going to say, when these guys begin to pit, it's going to drop certain drivers out of DRS range. But of course, as it currently stands, 2 drivers into the pits, Danny Connor and Imwa. It's going to be interesting to see where they come out, as Jamie now, back down the inside of Is Your Boy Cohen. Is now the time for the Mercedes. Can he get this position? Finally, after so many laps of trying. He's trying to tuck back into the slipstream and get the run. Down the inside goes Jamie. Is this going to be moved done finally for the CPI man? Yes, it is. And he is ahead of Is Your Boy Cohen. And up in the P4 now goes CPI Jamie. And that move had been coming for a while. And Jamie will be so happy that he's managed to get that move done now. As, oh no, that's QVR Gary. QVR Gary has gone off through turn 7 and 8, and that is heartbreak for him, as going into the pits. Legend threw up in the P7. Gary now, yeah, he's definitely going to be into the pits this lap, surely. Yeah, 100% Gary into the pits on lap 16 of 36. K-Gat still leads the way. You got Lightly in second place. Kuhlmann still holding on in P3, and you got Jamie in P4. Russell now holding on to the back of Jamie in P5, just about with DRS. And unfortunately for the QVR team, Gary taking that spin lost a huge amount of time. Remember, he got overtaken by Legend, so he lost 10 seconds in that one mistake there. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a good day for QVR with Gary dropping down that far in the pecking order. I mean, he's now going to be battling. He's now going to be battling the likes of what's called Inwa, and of course we're going to be seeing other drivers coming into the pit soon. Kuhlmann in, so he's trying to cover off Danny here, and yeah, I mean, he's going to be fighting the likes of Legend. Remember, Rishi's going to be putting on a set of mediums as well, so he could catch up to him by the end of this race. Yano and Spec Lab, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take those mediums to the end. If they do, he's going to have to get through them. He has to get past Mitch, he has to get past Imwa, so Gary has a lot of work to do now to try and get himself back up the order. Yano, 3-second time penalty, that might help him a little bit later in this race. G. Russell currently in P4 on the back of CPI Jamie, who's on the back of Lightly. Lightly trying to get himself up the order and into the race lead, currently unable to do so. And we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with all of this. And yeah, lap 17, so we are about to begin lap 18 at the halfway stage in this race. CPI currently have a double podium possibility on their hands, likely for McLaren, and of course the McLaren team of Invictus Racing, currently sharing that podium with the CPI drivers. There's still a good possibility that you could see Is Your Boy Cohen, Danny Connor and Kuhlmann get themselves back up the order. And look at that undercut. Danny has got herself quite some way up the road. Cohen just managed to get himself ahead of Coleman there. So P7 is now the way of the ORT man in the Ferrari. Kgat still holding on to the race lead ahead of Lightly, and we got Jamie in P3. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to blink between the Mercedes drivers and who's coming into the pits first. G. Russell is in, and we're going to see where G. Russell comes out relative to Mitch and Spec Lab right now. Obviously, he's going to come out a little bit behind Coleman, but how far behind Coleman is he going to come out behind? We're going to find out. He's still in the pit lane. Jarno coming through now, and in fact, I think Russell's just about going to hold on to P8 here, but he is considerably far behind now of Coleman and is your boy Cohen, as Fearful gets a 3-second time penalty. It's not been a good day for the Alfa Romeo down in 17th place. Only one retiree thus far in the race, and of course that is LRN Dominique. 18 drivers still running in this race. Lightly the race leader, and Lightly actually coming into the pit, so Lightly blinking first, coming into the pits on lap 19, about to become lap 20. It's going to strap on a set of the mediums. Now we're going to see where Lightly comes out relative to the likes of Danny and Coleman. So Danny's coming through now. Danny will take P3. Coleman with the new fastest lap of the race will jump up into P4. It's your boy Cohen, P5. Lightly, oh, it's going to be close with G. Russell. G. Russell may just have to overspeed to get this move done. And yes, he does. G. Russell gets himself ahead of Lightly here. As Hamburger there with a 5-second speeding penalty as he comes into the pits for the ORT team in the Scuderia Ferrari. Into P17 goes Hamburger, and he should be safe. As look at Lightly here, just flying past G. Russell, and on those mediums he needs to push right now. He needs to push. As Jamie's into the pits, Kgat going to be staying out for a little bit longer in this session. As Kgat's going to be hung out to dry here in the strategy, so Jamie will get the benefit of the undercut. And Lightly picks up a 3-second time penalty here on lap 21. Lightly potentially has thrown the possibility of a race win out of the window with that penalty. Jamie's going to come out behind G. Russell and behind Lightly by nearly 2 seconds. 2 seconds a gap between G. Russell and Jamie here. Jamie on those medium tyres though will be a lot quicker than what G. Russell is, but G. Russell has the DRS and can stick with Lightly here. It's your boy Cohen still in the back of Coolman for P3, effectively a net P2 right now. Danny Connor closing in on Kgat. And Kgat stays out still. So Kgat continuing to stay out in this race. Node is hoping that Kgat comes into the pits pretty soon, because Node's not too far away from getting himself lapped here. He's on the same straight. He's just breaking into turn 3 now, is Node, as the race leader is on the run up to turn 3 right now. It's your boy Cohen. Opportunity here to try and get past Kuhlman for P3. Not using ERS, but the DRS is closing him up enough that he had the opportunity to go for it, but he's going to sit back, maybe have a look into turn 4. Teton Jones picking up a 3-second time penalty, just been overtaken by QVR Gary down the inside into turn 3. So Gary trying to make his way back up the order. You got Mitch on the back of Spec Lap here for P9. Job done for Mitch. Simple, easy as you like. DRS down the inside. Job done, turn 4. And now Gary trying to close onto the back. Kgat is into the pits. And I think he may have left a little bit too long. And we're going to see... Well, he's going to come out behind Jamie, that's for sure. The question is if he's going to come out behind Jarno. As everyone funnels through now. Jamie, new fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 5.5. Kgat is going to come out of the pit lane right now. You can see in the distance there is Jarno, and looks like Kgat is going to come out just ahead. So Kgat near enough 5 seconds off the back of Jamie by pitting 2 laps later. That's how much he's lost by this undercut. And race leader, remember, he's 10 seconds off the back of the race leader now. Danny Connor making the call to go earliest in terms of the pit stops. Reaping the rewards now, 1.6 seconds ahead of Kuhlmann. But deeper into this race we go. It's going to be interesting to see if Danny is going to be able to hold on to that race lead. 1.5 is the gap now between Danny and Kuhlmann. As is your boy Cohen still on the back. Oh, Kuhlmann just getting towed along here. Not really pressing the move. G. Russell is still doing a fantastic job and keeping with the DRS range of Lightly. And Lightly has now been caught up by Jamie, but Jamie's had to expend all of his ERS to catch up. And there goes Ish your boy Cohen down the inside, getting the job done before the braking zone of turn 3. Job done there for Cohen, but maybe Kuhlmann will be able to come back at him here. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. G. Russell though, going to try it around the outside, trying to hang it all the way around the outside of Lightly here. If he's able to pull this off, this will be a fantastic move from G. Russell as we go into turn 6. Down the inside goes G. Russell. Is he going to be able to hold it? Still a little bit of contact between the pair of them. The hand of rage goes up in the cockpit from the Alpine. And it is G. Russell who takes P4 away from Lightly, and Lightly with no ERS now going to be under pressure from Jamie, who's on a lap fresher tyres in behind. And Jamie might want to make this move stick ASAP. As you see, Kuhlmann had a little peek down the inside. Didn't want to go for it. He had a little peek down the inside, did Kuhlmann. But up the hill now. Job done, this will be. Absolutely, yeah, simple as you like. In behind now. Anyone going to be going for any moves? No, not quite. So everyone opting to keep it towards turn number 4 as the overtaking spot. Legend on a set of soft compound tyres. He's going to fall all the way to the back of the grid. Potentially going to be trying to take that fastest lap point away from Jamie here. G. Russell making his way through. Honestly, has the fresher hard tyres, so G. Russell has more grip than these guys in front of him, but the issue is that the mediums in behind him also have more grip than what he currently has. Lightly though, with that 3-second time penalty, obviously needs to get through and get clear. That's the thing. Danny Connor has now been caught by Kuhlmann, so we are now in a DRS train from 1st down to 6th place. And there's a 3.9 second gap back to Kgat on the freshest of the medium tyres, who could play a factor late in this race. Will Kgat get himself up the order? G. Russell gets through up into P3, but Cohen going to try and get a tighter exit here and get the traction, but not able to get it done. G. Russell going to hold on to P3 as we run down to turn 4. It's a half-hearted attempt there from Cohen, and that could... Oh! Jamie around, contact between him and Lightly. Jamie was down the inside of Lightly into turn 4. Contact between the McLaren and the Mercedes. Kgat through, up in the P6. Absolute... I can't lie. Controversy here in lap 26 of 36 at Austria. Jamie and Lightly make contact there in turn 4, and Jamie goes around as Lightly now tries to make the move on Cohen. Up into P4 goes the McLaren, and we have to see what happens at post-race. As in the chat we got Marley Asperg saying what? Yeah, Lightly and Jamie were side by side through turn 4, and Jamie's gone around. But yeah, I mean, as it currently stands, bit of controversy there for you on lap 26, as we are now on lap 27. Danny Connor still holding on to the race lead, but now everyone beginning to bunch up. Lightly is now beginning to put his foot down, and we're going to see if Lightly on those mediums can get away through. G. Russell though is making his way up the order very well. G. Russell on the fresher hard tyres definitely is a threat here for the race win. As you got K-Gat that's 2.1 off the back of this pack. He can see him up ahead, but he's just going to fall away with DRS. And unfortunately, if you can hear that in the background, there is an ice cream van coming through the street, and that is not what you like to hear at points here in, oh my god, lagmeup.com, as the ice cream van goes through the street. As G. Russell gets to move up into P2 goes the Alpine, and yeah, not the kind of audio you want to be hearing in the background, very loud and very noisy, but also a little bit of lag there, something to be concerned about potentially on my end, I'm not sure. But G. Russell now up into P2 on the back of Danny Connor now. We're on lap 28 of 36, not too long to go in this race. Danny Connor been doing so well, the undercut has worked out to perfection to get Danny Connor the race lead and maintain it for such a long period in this race. And Danny Connor still has the ERS to defend, so Danny Connor can definitely have an opportunity in winning this race. And if that ERS is used correctly, G. Russell is going to struggle to get past, because G. Russell's ERS is quite low. Dominique has left the session here, and a heartbreak there for Dominique, as lap 29, obviously Dominique retiring early in the session, obviously now electing to leave the session, obviously probably Jeffing for a spec lap here in the race. But G. Russell getting close to the back of Danny Connor. G. Russell not close enough to make that move. Danny Connor stays in the race lead as it currently stands. The deployment of ERS is going to be crucial here. K-Gat has managed to get through on his Jaboy Cohen. K-Gat is now in this train, and this is the big threat for the race win for G. Russell and Danny Connor. K-Gat now 80% ERS at his disposal. Coming through the penultimate corner, all over the back of Lightly. Lightly obviously caught in a bit of an incident earlier with Jamie, and K-Gat now down the inside into turn 1, and K-Gat not wasting any time, making that move stick and trying to get his way up the order as soon as possible. Lightly has to settle down for P5, as G. Russell once again not quite close enough. We got a spinner in the final corner, and is that, yeah, that is Tetron Jose. I was going to say, is that going to be a safety car? Unfortunately not, to bunch these guys back up. And oh no, there's a round in the middle sector. We just flicked on board with the Red Bull, and the Red Bull is around. But yeah, once again, no safety car, so everyone getting away with it here. Likely will not be wanting a safety car, but even if a safety car does come out, what do you do? Do you pit again? Do you stay out? That is the question. K-Gat on the back of Coolman now for the final spot on the podium. The gap is 1/10, less than a 10th coming into the penultimate corner. And now K-Gat really trying to apply the pressure to take a race win here, as K-Gat looks to have a very slippery car in a straight line. So I wouldn't be mistaken if we do see a potential overtake up the hill in towards turn number 3 as we close up. And look at this, around the outside goes K-Gat, and look at Coleman trying to outbrake. I think maybe a bit of pushing going on there. G. Russell gets through into the race lead, but yeah, Coleman I think pushed G. Russell into that move there. I'm not sure if G. Russell and wanted to make that move 100% and in that manner anyway. But yeah, G Russell down to P2 now. K-Gat up into P3. Danny Connor's just gone from the race lead down to P4 in the span of 2 corners. As now K-Gat really using those mediums to good effect here, trying to get away through up into P2. Coolman now into the race lead for the first time in the race, I believe, and potentially I think he's managed to get away without getting any wing damage. But I mean, G Russell, will he be looking at that as a report for later? I'm not sure. K-Gat though trying to get himself a race win as Danny Connor gets overtaken by Lightly. Lightly, oh my god, Lightly's trying to send one on the inside of K-Gat, and K-Gat will not be appreciating that, as K-Gat now trying to defend from the McLaren as they line astern, coming side by side down in towards turn number 4. And again, Lightly down the inside, but K-Gat holding it around the outside and gets ahead of the McLaren before turn 5, which is thankfully for K-Gat. And K-Gat now needs to get that Alpine, that QVR driver of G Russell in between himself and Lightly. Lightly has a 3-second time penalty. Right now, Lightly's playing spoiler. Maybe trying to force other drivers into a mistake that allows Lightly to benefit off it later in this race. We are about to begin lap 33 of 36. The race leader is Coolman as K-Gat now looks to the inside, but obviously not going to go for it. A little bit of a tap on the back of G Russell, and yeah, I would allow G Russell to maintain that position there. So K-Gat definitely noticed that, of course, that if he was to pass it, that's technically a bump pass. So K-Gat there doing the smart thing and allowing Russell to maintain P2 on the run up to turn 3 there. But as it currently stands, Coolman doing exactly what he needs to do to win this race. But in terms of 2 drivers in behind him, the 2 that he doesn't want in behind him is G Russell, who has the fresher hard compound tyres, and K-Gat, who has the freshest medium tyres. Coming through the penultimate corner, about to begin lap 34 of 36. Coolman is still in the race lead, and Russell holding on to P2 currently. And now we're going to see that's a good exit there from K-Gat. K-Gat using ERS, using the DRS, and we're going to see a change for the race lead. G Russell up in the race lead and Coolman down into P3, but it's going to try and fight back as he goes down the inside and tries to hold it there, but K-Gat with the superior traction around the outside. Job done for K-Gat, and now we are in a interesting dynamic, because G Russell now in the race lead on the freshest hard tyres. You've got K-Gat in P2 on the fresher of the medium tyres, as Fearful is in the pit lane retiring from this race. About to begin the penultimate lap. Who is going to be taking the race win? I want to see some predictions in the chat right now. Will G Russell hold on? Can K-Gat get the win? Will it be Coleman? Can Danny Connor do a comeback here and get himself up into the race winning positions? Lightly and it's your boy Cohen also have time penalties to their name, but will they be getting a podium at this? Who knows? Let me know predictions in the chat right now. G Russell holding on to the race lead right now on the penultimate lap as we run into turn 3, and they are catching the lapped car of Node, and Node could be the saving grace for G Russell here. If G Russell can get in DRS range of Node here for the final lap, especially on that run up into turn 3, G Russell can possibly just cruise to the checker flag. But now we're going to find out. There's G Russell coming through turn 7 and 8 now, as looks like they are closing in on the Red Bull of Node here, but I don't think it's going to be close enough to DRS here into the start-finish straight, but we're going to find out as he's moved out the way. He's moved out the way, so Russell having no opportunity there with DRS to defend from Kgat. Kgat now, good run out of turn 1 on the ERS, using the DRS. There's the flashing red light he wants to see on the back of G. Russell's car. The closing speed is biblical. Down the inside goes Kgat. Is he going to be able to get this done? Job done for Kgat. And look at Coleman. Coleman looking for a move as well. And DRS will help Coleman get P2 here. As Kgat takes the race lead and is on course for the race win, as Coleman actually gets the move on on G. Russell. Up into P2 goes the Aston Martin, the NLR driver. Can G. Russell come back at him here in the final sector? Who knows? But right now, Kgat on course to take the race win, as we got Gary and Mitch battling out for P8 and 9, but back up to the top as Kgat comes through the final 2 corners for the final time in this race. For CPI is Kgat, who takes victory here in Austria. Second place will go to NLR Coleman. And then, of course, we'll have G. Russell rounding out the final podium position. Fantastic race from G. Russell. Obviously, get himself up the order, up into P3. Danny Connor, brilliant strategy, but unfortunately it just fell away at the end. What's called getting overtaken by the four drivers. Obviously, Coleman maybe a little tap in the back of G. Russell into turn 3. 4-star move for G. Russell, I'm not sure, but obviously Danny Connor lost out there on the most worn of the hard tyres. Lightly in P5 with is your boy Cohen in P6, CPI Jamie in 7th, Mitch in 8th, QVR Gary in 9th, Spec Lap rounding out the top 10. Then of course we have Rishi, Yano, Imwa, Legend, Hamburger and Node, who finished a lap down in this race. G. Russell gets driver of the day, and honestly, I mean, I can't really argue with it. I can't. Great recovery. Obviously, he joined the session, joined qualifying very late in the session as well. So, obviously, wasn't really up to date with everything that was going on. But yeah, I mean, gets himself a podium for QVR. So a fantastic drive in the end from G. Russell. And yeah, but Kgat takes victory, and a very impressive victory from the CPA driver. But yeah, we'll run you through the order one more time. It is, of course, Kgat who takes the win ahead of Coleman in second place. G. Russell in P3. Danny Connor in P4 with Lightly in P5. P6 goes to is your boy Cohen. P7 for Jamie. Mitch in P8. Gary in P9. And Spec Lap rounding out the top 10. Outside of the top 10, we have not Rishi, Yano, Imwa, Legend, Hamburger, Node, and then of course our non-finishers in this race were Fearful, Teton Joes and Dominique. And obviously Fearful picked up the fastest lap of the race. I'm not sure if he keeps that, but yeah, honestly I'm going to have to give my driver of the day to G. Russell as well. 15th up to 3rd, almost at the win as well, but it just wasn't to be in the end for the QVR driver. But absolutely fantastic drive from him, and a well-deserved podium. Will feel a little bit heartbroken to not get the race win in the end, or to even get P2. But of course that is going to bring an end to round number 2 here in the ORT Esports Cup here in Tier 1. Next week, of course, we will be going racing once again, and we go to the home of British Motorsport as we head to the Silverstone circuit for round number 3 at the British Grand Prix. But until then, guys, I have been Ivor Bryn Mike, and I'll catch you next week for round number 3. Goodbye.